So I want to shoot my 6.5 Creedmoor suppressed with subsonic ammunition, but I don't have any subsonic ammunition. So let's make some and take it out to the shooting range, see what we can do. Impact. First I'm cleaning my brass in a tumbler using crushed walnut shell media. Then the cleaned brass is being lubricated with a lubrication pad in preparation for resizing. I'm using a full-length resizing die. And it deprimes your casing, and it also resizes it to factory specifications. I'm wiping off the excess lubrication. Next step is to clean the primer pockets. There's a resizing tool, and then there is a scraping tool to completely clean out any carbon out of the primer pocket so that the primer's sealed all the way. I'm using small rifle primers. There are several ones. This is number 450. There's also a CCI number 41. Both of them work fine in my experience. I'm priming using my press. I have a function on my press to press the primers into the casings. It just gives me more control, and you can see I spin the brass, and the primer needs to be completely flush. It cannot protrude at all. Record keeping is pretty important. So this is my batch number 6, as you can see, so I write down all the specifications of this particular reload batch. The bullet is a Hornady 147 grain. So for subsonic I want something really heavy, and this is the heaviest bullet I had on hand. I'm using Reloader 17 as gunpowder. I wish I had a different powder, but you know, this is the only one that I feel comfortable with right now, working with this load. The amount of powder needs to be varied, so here you see I'm using 3 different powder loads. There are a lot of measurements. I'm not going into the cartridge base to ogive measurements. I'm only covering here the length overall. Here you can see my prime brass on the left hand side with the gold primers are CCI number 41, and on the right hand side CCI 250s. Here I'm exchanging the full length resized die with a bullet seating die. It is already preset from my last batch, so I have some pretty good data to start with. This bullet seating die has a micrometer adjustment on the top, which is really helpful. So I usually turn it back quite a bit, about 5 thousandths or 10 thousandths, something like that. Then you weigh out your powder. I just do it by hand with a little spoon here. It just goes into the cartridge. It's very little powder for 6.5 Creedmoor, so I'm expecting a few issues here, but we'll see. And then the primed, resized and loaded brass is placed back into the press, and you press the bullet into it. And you expect it to be long because I turned the micrometer back about 10 thousandths or so. Yeah, here you see I'm almost there. I'm half a thousandths long, which is not a problem. I'm still making an adjustment, so I'm turning it back by 1/1000th of an inch. Ideally you want to be slightly below the maximum length. And it's not really important for bolt action rifles. It is more important for magazine fed rifles, which actually my chassis has a magazine in it. It's really just a measure of fitting it into a magazine. CBTO is a much better measurement, which is cartridge based to ogive, but that's a completely different video. That's too complex for what I'm trying to show you here. Yeah, and you go through all of your brass and fill 3 different levels of powder, and that's what we are going to take to the range. Hopefully all of them will exit the barrel. I'm a little concerned that I'm completely off, but we'll see. So let's take a look at my ballistics calculations here. So this is for 6.5 Creedmoor Subsonic. And the first section is all the inputs that you need to run these calculations. So the first thing you enter is the bullet and the bullet weight and the bullet type. So I'm using a Hornady ELD-M, which is extremely low drag match at a weight of 147 grains. Caliber and ballistic coefficient drag then comes out of the database. I'm hoping for a muzzle velocity of 1075 feet per second, so that is below supersonic range. You have to input the height of your scope or sight, so mine is about 1.5 inches above the bore. I'm always adding a 10 mile an hour crosswind because I'm interested in that data for longer ranges. And my target is also moving, that's optional, but my target is also moving at 5 miles an hour. Temperature, I selected 59 Fahrenheit. Humidity, I must have forgot to put something in here. I wish I had, 50 or 60% in here, but I don't. It gives you pressure, it gives you, 29.92, so I'm choosing standard conditions. And that's pretty much it. I do everything in metric, so everything for me is milliradians. And then here's the output data. So it gives you, what does it give you? Okay, speed of sound under these atmospheric conditions is 1116 feet per second. So I'm way below supersonic sound if I'm shooting for 1075. And it gives you a couple of other things. The other thing you need to enter is your zero. So in my case, I chose 100 yards and I say, okay, my rifle with this ammunition is sighted in at 100 yards. Which it is, but not with that ammunition, right? I'm using, 2,700 feet per second ammo, and it is sighted in at 100 yards. So I'm significantly slower, so I got to aim way high to even hit at 100 yards. So I got to get that established with a few rounds. And then the next thing I'm interested in is, well, let's say I hit at 100 yards and I want to shoot at 200 and 300 yards. So this is why I ran these calculations. So the drop from 100 to 200 yards is 30.8 inches. So this would be 4.3 milliradians. So even if I hit at 100, I have to turn in 4.3 milliradians to hit at 200. And look at this. At 300 yards, I have to aim 95.9 inches high. So this is 8.9 milliradians. So this is the number, those two numbers is why I ran these calculations. Pretty interesting also if you look at the windage in inches or milliradians, whatever you want to look at. So a 10 mile an hour crosswind at 100 yards pushes the bullet already 1 inch off the target, which is 0.3 milliradians. And then at 200 it's 3.5 inches, and then at 300 already 7.5 inches. The other number I was interested in, because I do want to shoot these out to 300 yards, is, okay, what is my energy? What is the speed? So the speed of the bullet at 300 yards is only 981 feet per second. So it's coming in rather slow. It gives you flight time in here. Yeah, here. So the flight time is actually 0.88 seconds, which is very, very slow. And the impact energy is only 314 foot-pounds. A supersonic 6.5 Creedmoor that leaves the barrel at, let's say, 2,700 feet per second has an impact at 300 yards, an energy of 1,700 foot-pounds. And so the subsonic variant of the same bullet, of the same weight at such lower speeds, only results into 314 foot-pounds. Now, I'm sure it'll still ruin your day if you get hit with that bullet, or maybe even you use it for hunting or something like that. So, but again, it's just interesting to see how much less energy this thing has. All right, let's go out to the range and see what we can do. So I'm at the shooting range right now. I'm trying to shoot 6.5 Creedmoor Subsonic, the loads that I loaded yesterday. So let me show you what I have. So I'm at the shooting range. I brought my chronograph so that we can get some decent measurements of muzzle velocity. I have my 6.5 Creedmoor out here. The one that's sitting in an MDT LSS chassis. Let me see. I think those are primary arms optics, milliradian scale. I have my suppressor here, which I'm currently not using. I'm gonna shoot this rifle without suppressor first. I have a cleaning rod here because I'm expecting squib loads today. And this is the ammo that we loaded earlier. So I have 3 different levels of powder. It's really not the right powder I wanted to use, but that's all I have. So I'm using Alliant Reloader 17. And I'm gonna start at the high end and see if it even makes it out the barrel and see what kind of muzzle velocities I'm getting. And I'm aiming at 100 yards. I know I'm gonna be low, so I'll be aiming high. Probably, I didn't do the math on it, I should have. I'm probably gonna aim 9 inches high, something like that. And then my primary concern is that the projectile, the bullet, makes it all the way through the barrel and doesn't get stuck halfway, because the powder loads for 6.5 Creedmoor is really low, and I didn't use filler, and I'm just using regular rifle powder, just, you know, very little of it. So it's not the best way of going about it, but hey, let's try this. Okay, let's do this. So I'm shooting at 100 yards, so let's see, what do we want to do? 1 milliradiant is 3.6 inches, 7.2. So let's do 3 MRADs up. No wind, there's very little wind. There's a little wind from left to right, but I'm not going to worry about it. So let me turn my chronograph on. Let me get the camera rolling. Make some final adjustments here. Well, looks like we are ready. No suppressor right now. Let's see if it makes it out of the muzzle. Okay, this is 10.2 grains. Let's see what we can do. Unsuppressed. "100 yards, center gong. Hit. Oh man, just right. Muzzle velocity 1165. You gotta be kidding me. This actually works. Ha! This is incredible. Hit a complete guess. 3 milliradians up. I can't believe this worked. This is... Okay, I gotta do another one. I gotta do another one. I mean, how can you hit this on the first try? I mean, this was pure luck. It was a little bit of math behind it, but it basically was completely pure luck. I can't believe I hit that target. I'm shooting 60-yard flip-up target. Hit right where I aimed. 1012. Let's do one more. Flip up target, 60 yards. Hit. Uh, 1006. Let me get the camera out there so you actually believe me. So I have a camera set up at the 60-yard mark with a flip-up target. See if I can find this thing. Center aim, flip-up target. Hit. Exactly where I aimed. 991 feet per second. One more. Flip up target, 60 yards. Hit, exactly where I aimed. Yeah, so here are my two hits. This was the first one, my very first shot, just slightly to the right at 3 MOAs. This is 3.5 MOAs, but my muzzle velocity is a little all over the place. So this was a little over 1,000 feet per second. So I'm gonna leave this camera here so you can see some of these impacts, and hopefully I won't shoot my camera. 100 yards, aiming top of target. Impact is low. Impact is 2 MOA low, so I'm at 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. So here, let me show you what I did. So I just dialed it into 5.5, muzzle velocity 979. So if the muzzle velocity is the same, I should be more on target. Let's do this. Center hold 100 yards. Impact slightly low, slightly right. Muzzle velocity 923. It's getting there. Let's do another one. "100 yards, center hold. Impact pretty consistent. Muzzle velocity 1013. So I can hit at 100. I'm 5.5 milliradians up from supersonic ammo at 100 yards. So I gotta gain another, what was the number I had? 9 milliradians? 8.9, I think 8.9 at 300. Top aim of the target. Impact 960. Okay, last unsuppressed, and we're gonna put a suppressor on it. Top hold of the target. Impact. Yeah, this is pretty easy. Okay, 971 muzzle velocity. Let's put the suppressor on it and see what we can do from there. Just gotta leave the camera. 971. Suppress, holding high on the target. Impact 1057, and that was quiet, wasn't it? I have a lot of gases coming back. When I opened the action, there was a lot of gases coming back, so, but man, that was nice and quiet. Impact, low and right. Muzzle velocity 1009. Oh, here are the really low loads, so we gotta account for those. So this is gonna be lower. Same aim. Just to the right. Muzzle velocity 996. Let's aim a little to the left. I'm not quite sure why these are hitting to the right. Center aim, steel target, slightly left aim. Impact to the right. Muzzle velocity 958. 3 left, guys. Center aim, slightly left, 100 yards. Impact. Okay, last one at 100, and then I'm gonna shoot one at 300 just for the heck of it. Impact 983. Pretty consistent. Okay, last one, I'm holding over 10 milliradians and I'm shooting at 300 yards. I don't have a camera out there, so let me just see if I can even figure this out, because I gotta hold, oh wow. Yeah, I gotta hold over 9 milliradians. That's, oh boy. Okay, there's no way I'm gonna hit this. Okay, 300 yards. I'm holding over 9 milliradians, left side of the target. Send it. Oh, it came. I saw the impact. It's short. Actually, 9 milliradians is not enough. Oh, muzzle velocity was only 878, and my calculations were with 1075. That makes sense. But I saw the impact. It was probably, I want to see 10 feet short of the target at 300 yards. But all right. I'm all out. I'm all out, man. That was fun. That was pretty nice. Well, I didn't really need earplugs. Safety glasses are always good to have. So, man, really nice. I'm pretty happy. Let me give you an idea of what's what. So, we shot all the ammo we loaded, all the subsonic ammo we loaded. Okay, and all of them worked. Had some pretty good hits, I think so. First shot at 100 yards actually hit. And again, I ended up dialing it in at, let me see what I have it dialed in at. So this is 5.5 MRADs up. Yeah, 5.5 milliradians. I was hitting a little bit. There is wind from left to right, as always here at my shooting range. So I should have dialed in 3/10 or 5/10 of wind, which I didn't. So chronograph is good. That was the last shot at 300. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy, guys. Rifle is good. Rifle is dirty now because I got a lot of, you know, there's not much powder in it. I think it's a pretty dirty burn. So let me see. I'm using my iPhone. Oh boy. I guess that's it. I'm pretty happy. That's all I have for you today. And I'll see you guys on the next one.